Now, when screenwriter Dav James and his husband adopted 2 young children, he found the experience so life-changing that it inspired his next project.
Lost Boys and Fairies is a new BBC One drama that tells the story of Gabriel and his partner Andy on their journey to become parents. Let's take a look at the couple getting ready for the first visit from their social worker.
So, boys, tell me, why do you want to adopt?
Well, we've been talking about it for a while now, haven't we, Gabe? Mm-hmm. And we're really solid. Been together 8 years now, so it feels like the natural next step, doesn't it?
Mm. I'm sensing you're a little bit nervous, Gabriel.
I'm not nervous.
Good. Just answer honestly and we'll all get along fine.
It really is brilliant. I loved it. Screenwriter Dav James and actor Sion Daniel Young, who plays Gabriel, join us now. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Nice to see you. Dav, start with the story, because it's been a long time in the making, this, hasn't it? And it's something that you all feel very personal about on this. Just explain where the idea came from.
Yeah, it's partly been a lifetime in the making,
Yeah.
I think, because, you know, a lot of my childhood has fed into it, but also my husband and I adopted 2 boys 8 years ago, and we went through this experience that changed our lives. It does as a parent anyway, but of course they've lived through some severe trauma. And when we were going through the adoption process, and especially that first year, I went, this feels so dramatic. There's so much of it's a story I haven't seen before authentically represented on television. So I just had to write it.
And in your own life, when you went into it, did you know how gruelling that process was going to be?
I mean, nothing prepares you for it in a way. I don't think anything prepares you for parenthood, but I knew it would be... the whole point of it is that they have to make sure for the children that they're coming into a safe haven, that they're coming into a safe family. So none of that kind of intrusion impacted me in that way, because I knew it was all for a good reason. And so we were open to that. And we had friends who had gone through the process as well, so we knew what it entailed.
Did you ever expect it to take off in the way that it did? Because it was on the telly, wasn't it? And now it's on the iPlayer, and it's doing great numbers. People are loving it and finding it in a whole different way.
Yeah. Well, when I first read Dav's scripts, the way I responded to it seems to be exactly how audiences are responding to it.
Right.
So that's really nice that those sort of experiences are mirrored, because it's just incredibly moving. And I think you can't help but relate with those characters, to invest in those worlds. And there seems to be like there's something for everyone in it.
But also, both characters do a lot of soul searching on this journey.
Yeah, and like Dav talked about, there's a level of intrusion that comes with that adoption process. So you have to dig deep into your childhood and your past, and Gabriel really struggles with that. So a lot of things sort of come to the surface as they're going through this adoption process, and he really struggles to manage that.
And it was, you wrote it and filmed in Cardiff as well, so it feels very personal for all those reasons too. It is just wonderful. Talk to me about the importance of being able to make it and film it in Cardiff.
Oh, that's huge, just being able to use local crews and have a Welsh cast in this way. Often Cardiff is used as a filming set.
For other places.
For other places.
Yeah.
And here we had our local community being represented as our local community. The supporting artists were amazing, were all part of Neverland. They were all from the local queer communities as well, so that was just a magical thing.
And how aware are you of the reaction to this? Because, as Ben mentioned, you know, it's been on telly, people watch it on telly, but it's kind of like it's still building even more momentum. Are people talking to you in the street about it? What are they saying?
I tend to kind of live in my own little bubble. So I've had some, like you know, I've had friends and family texts and stuff, and that's really lovely, and more so than anything else that I've ever done. But I'm aware that it seems to be really resonating with people, and some of the messages that I've been forwarded through various other sources.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah,
I do tell him. I do tell him.
It's
And
a
also,
really
you know,
big
what's
deal.
been extraordinary are people who've been writing, you know, either through social media or emails, or I've been getting all these messages from the communities that have been represented in the show, saying how much it resonates and means to them, and that's to us, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah.
How important is it that these stories are on the television?
Well, like Dav said, this wasn't something you'd seen represented on screen before. So I think it's super important, isn't it, that we vary our range of stories, that we see them from a different perspective. And I think that's just something people are really connecting with, is that we're seeing a new type of story on TV told from an angle we've not seen it before, and characters we've not encountered before, and it just feels like really unique for all those reasons.
And Dav, am I right in saying this is part of a new screenwriters programme that the BBC has?
Yeah, I was part of it. It's now called the Pilot Scheme, where they scheme where they pair you with a new independent production company. So I was paired with Duck Soup Films, I found my home with them. They enabled me to tell this story so brilliantly. So yeah, and you would hope that from a scheme like that, you might get a green light, but actually it felt like a bit of a dream, to be honest with you. So the fact that it's happened in this way is just extraordinary.
We're almost out of time, but a new series?
We would love a new series. It's not within our gift, but I have so much story still to tell.
Amazing. It's also got the most incredible soundtrack as well, which is what I love. So nice to see you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming in.